Alright, people, we're back. Hopefully you can tell. We've added some more details here. We added the red trim around the little frilly bit. Still don't know what it's called, still don't care. We added some gray kind of color to our little wrinkles. And we did that in each between little ruffle there. We added a little blood smear on the scalp here. Make sure the camera angles are getting that. Add a little blood smear on the scalp, and we toned it down with very, very washed out white over top of that flesh tone, and added that little kind of blood smeared stain along the trim of it. We did a little bit more to the mouth, but not so much that you can tell. Obviously the eyes are there. If we hold up our little mask real quick, you can actually really see where we're going. It's getting there. But what we're going to do now is we're going to dry brush. I'm taking some white and try to dull it up a little bit, and we're going to dry brush all this pretty nice clean white to try and give it a duller look. So the way you do that is you get your brush, get a little paint on it, and use a rag or a paper towel or something, and then you just kind of get most of the paint off your brush. At least that's the technique I use. You want to have some paint on the brush, but not a whole lot, and you just kind of, like I said, dry brush it on. But this crappy brush isn't working, so let's go to one of my better brushes. There we go. Alright. So dab a little on there. Try and get a bunch of it off. And you can see how that gray is fading away a little bit. Like I said, a little bit, not completely. Oh, these angles are working. And we're not gonna like extensively paint the whole thing. We want to cover the entire clothing, whatever you want to call his outfit here. You want to try and hit as many parts as you can, but it doesn't have to be uniform, because like I said, it's dingy. That's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to give it a dingy, disheveled look, instead of focusing on just painting the whole thing again.
Mastering the art of refinement, one dark chocolate rises above the rest. Lint excellence, created by
it's just a matter of putting layers on. Start with the base coat, and then shadows, and layers, and layer, and layer, and layer, layer. And then once it dries, you'll be able to see how your work's paid off. That's why if you ever think about when you paint your house, it's usually good to put a primer down first, because whatever color that wall is beforehand can affect the color it's going to be once you actually put your paint on there. If you get what I'm saying. Hopefully these angles are working. I think it's turning out pretty daggone cool. I'm debating whether I should try and do more with the mangled mouth or not. I think it looks pretty cool, because you gotta remember, we're gonna put the mouthpiece on there. So just like in the show, when you take it off, you're like, oh wow, there's some carnage up underneath there. And like I said, he was my favorite character in season 4 of American Horror Story. That's my favorite season of all. But just something about his character was just so cool and just genuinely creepy. I mean, he's a clown. A lot of people think clowns are creepy. I've never really understood that, to be honest. I was never scared of clowns as a kid. At least not that I can recall. But just something as subtle as that creepy grin of his little jaw mask, and then John Curry Lynch, the actor, the way his eyes can convey the expressions, just really brought the whole character. And plus, I wish they would explain whose scalp is he wearing, because it's clearly somebody else's scalp. Because if you remember when he starts having the flashbacks of when he first tried joining the freak show, he was out there wearing like a party hat or something. It's been a little while since I've watched that season, but he didn't have the scalp yet. And speaking of different stuff he was wearing, I couldn't decide on his chest here. Just make sure our camera angles are good so you can see what I'm talking about. On his chest here, in the scene where the couple are having a picnic and he kidnaps the girl and kills the guy, he's wearing a rose on his chest. But you never see him with that rose on again. So, I mean, I think during his flashback scene with the first carnival he was with, where they scared him off and everything and ended up leading him to turn into Twisty, I think he might have been wearing it then. Not 100% sure, but just found it odd that you see him wearing a rose very briefly, and then you don't really see him wear it again. So I didn't know whether to add that or not to the carving. So if you all like this carving, let me know if you want me to add it. I'll show you all how to make a miniature rose bloom, which ought to be a little tough. That's why I started doing these movie and TV characters, because I wanted a new challenge. Doing animals and stuff are fun, but I think it's kind of old and boring. You just have a lot more fun, in my opinion, doing stuff like this. Especially the research involved, man. If you watch the shows, you get to rewatch them and really study the character, and just get to watch the show as a precursor to your carvings. And what kind of other research can you do like that? And when you do animals, I mean, you can try and watch videos of them, but it's mostly just still frame shots, just pictures and stuff of them. If you want to try and articulate movement, you might watch stuff like that, but yeah, I think it's come along pretty good. I don't know if the lighting is helping, but it's dingying him up pretty nice. And I'm gonna use just a little pearlescent when we're ready to finish, because his outfit is like that satin material, so it has kind of a shimmer or whatever to it. So we'll hit it with a little bit of pearlescent at the very end stages, but we won't go crazy or nothing with it, because like I said, we're dingying him up right now. So you'd have to think any luster that satin, polyester, whatever material it is, costume would have lost that luster as it got dirty and nasty. I mean, he was living in a bus in the woods, for crying out loud. Which, like I said, in the new season, I hope that's not the only time we get to see him, is just in a little comic book cameo. They haven't shown any supernatural element to the show yet, so maybe they're saving that. But it was still nice to see an homage to him. Oh shoot. I gotta get the paint off the table. And like I've said before, if y'all like these videos, I've noticed people give me a few thumbs up on some of the clips, which I greatly appreciate. But if there's characters y'all would like to see, feel free to leave a comment. If I know who the character is, I can look up and see if maybe there's something interesting about it. If I don't know who the character is, I can always look them up. Like I said, feel free to, if you want to see something come to life, I'd be more than happy to give it a whirl. I got plenty of ideas of my own, but maybe there's other things out there that y'all find more interesting. I can't believe on YouTube some of the videos people like. It seems like the cornier something is, and just the downright goofy and ridiculous. That's the stuff that most people like nowadays, which is fine, man. To each their own. Times change. I know wood carving in general is a very niche, tiny little spectrum. And like I said, I do these just for fun. My nieces like to watch them. My friends' kids watch them occasionally. So if it can inspire other people that are younger to get into working with their hands, making stuff, having a bit of imagination, that's all I'm looking for. But yeah, look, we got one more leg to do, and I think he's coming along really good. We might dull down his little, whatever those are. What would you call those? Not buttons, but can't think of a term for them right now. I do believe the yellow one had like little feathers or something sticking out in that picnic scene. And if you remember the Pegasus unicorn video, we got some feathers we might be able to stick on there. I don't really recall feathers in other scenes. I think that would be something that would stand out in my memory. Know what I'm saying?
If I don't get at least 5 or 6 compliments a day for it, it wouldn't be normal. You know, wow, those teeth, they're gorgeous. It's all because of Clear Choice. Call Clear Choice.
DirecTV has been rated #1 in customer satisfaction over cable for 17 years running. But some people still like you, just like some people banging their head around those seats. Drinking spoiled milk, camping in poison lake, getting a paper cut, and having their arm trapped in a vending machine. But for everyone else, there's DirecTV. For #1 rated customer satisfaction over cable, switch to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Alrighty, I think that's about it for this clip. I think we're getting pretty much to being done. Check out the angles. See the top? This little tuft of hair here, it's hard to tell what color it is in the show and on pictures. It looks almost kind of like a yellowish or neon green. So what we did is we hit it with a bright yellow and then took a very light lime green and watered it down and hit over top of it. And it looks like it's giving it that look we're going for. Yeah, I don't know if y'all can pick up on it right now, but later on we'll get it in better lighting and probably pick on it a little better. But I think it is looking pretty daggone good. We'll be back with our next clip after this.